Hey, Tracy here. So today I wanted to start talking about beginning to listen to our intuition. Um, our intuition comes in a lot of different ways and it varies per person. So obviously one of the most well known is claircognizant, where you see with your third eye, your mind's eye. There's clairaudience, which is clear hearing. You can hear your messages come in from your spirit guides, from your higher self, from whoever you're working with, for mediums, even other spirits. Then there's claircognizant, which is a clear knowing. That's my main one. And then there's clairsentient, which is clear feeling in the body. There's other minor ones. I think there's clear taste and there's clear smell. So there's a lot of different ones. And you don't just have one or the other. We can get our messages from all kinds of different ways. We just have maybe one or two that are our predominant ones until we start developing that muscle and increasing our clairs and increasing our ability to sense and know. And then it depends on your chart too. So a heavy water sign person like Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, water is our emotions. So they're going to feel it on an emotional level. They're often more empathic, so they're picking up all the emotions of the people around them. So they're feeling all that emotion. And so they're picking it up that way. I'm an air sun, so I get drop-ins. I just know things very often, and that's pretty much my main one. I just know. And in the air signs, in case you did not know, are Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. And then they're fire. I've also got a lot of fire, and so fire signs get the urge to take a certain action. And that, now we all get inspired action, but that might be how it comes across more for fire signs is, oh, I've got to take this action right now, and they kind of go. And the fire signs are going to be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And then for earth signs, earth rules the 3D in the body. They're going to be, maybe they feel it more, they tense up, they can feel it more in their body because they're real grounded typically. And again, it depends on the aspects that affect in your chart. Because, you can be a heavy earth and maybe you've got Neptune affecting all those planets, and you've got Mercury and Neptune, so you're getting a bunch of different, however, it just depends. Everybody's charts is different. And so it's really important to take a look. If you're, if you don't know how you typically get your intuition, take a look back and say, here's times I've known that something's going to happen, and you may or may not have listened to your intuition and it was proven right. And see how those messages typically come in, because often we're all intuitive, but we don't necessarily listen to our intuition. And I mean, there's been plenty of times I've known that I was supposed to do something and I did not. And I've learned anytime I tell the universe, hey, it'll be okay. The universe is like, no, we told you to go do something, so go do it. And now don't be confused, because we also have free will. So you can, the universe will try to nudge you back on your path, or put you in the place for your highest good and direction. But you still have free will. If you want to go tell the universe, you'll be okay, screw it, the universe is going to say okay. And shit might fall apart, or something, your path is not going to be as easy. So it's and the problem with our intuition, it is soft. Everybody's out here telling us, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. And it seems like that's the right thing to do. And our intuition is gently nudging us in the right direction. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't get clear because it just gets lost in the noise. Or we don't listen, or we think that doesn't make sense. Why would it tell me to start? Why would it tell me to quit my job when I've got nothing lined up and go travel across Europe for 3 months? If the universe is telling you to do something, like truly, the universe is like really pushing you towards something, go do it. Because the universe is not going to put you on a path that does not serve your highest and greatest good. Now, you might manifest something along that path as you're talking to yourself and, oh, woe is me, and this is that, because we do manifest. Because we're all working together. We're co-creators. We're called co-creators for a reason, because we are co-creating with the universe. So the universe wants us to be on the path that our soul planned for us in this lifetime, and on the path for our highest and greatest good. It wants to please us. It wants to give us what we want. We are the universe. I mean, think of it this way. Would you want to go plan something for yourself that you hated and made no sense, and you didn't serve your highest and greatest good? No. So remember, you are the universe experience itself. So it wants you to be on that aligned path with the creation. So really, it's about figuring out how you typically receive most of your intuitive messages and starting to listen and pay attention. And one thing I highly recommend, talk to your guides, talk to your higher self. Even if you don't hear them at first, just imagine your little imaginary friend that's beside you, and you don't see them and know them, but you know they're there, and just start talking to them. And you might not hear anything at first, and don't get discouraged. But the more you talk to them, eventually you will start hearing, and definitely you will start seeing, and you will be guided. And they will help you along your path. I talk to my guides. I get mad at the universe too. Like, don't be scared to get mad at the universe. I get frustrated. I'm like, look, I know I'm supposed to do this. Why are y'all throwing all this shit up in my way? I'm trying to get here. And I can feel them just kind of be like, sometimes they chuckle. I mean, not in a mean way, but like sometimes they're like, we got you, just chill. We'll get you there, but you have to do these other things. Remember, as I said in my other video, we can't go from A to B immediately. There's steps along the way. So they will get you there. So just start talking. Start journaling through your day. What did I know to do? What did I feel? And some good ways to start playing around with it, just ask yourself, what does my body want to eat? And start listening intuitively. And that's where meditation comes in, sitting quietly. Or some people, I get a lot of my messages, again, a lot of fire energy. So I get a lot of my messages walking and moving. So as I'm walking, I just start talking, and we get that little flow. And for me, it's not like I'm hearing stuff. I'll just know. It's like I'm getting messages as I'm moving. And then some people are real grounded, so they can sit in meditation and they're hearing all this stuff. For me, I just need more movement. So it really depends on who you are, your personality, your chart, to work with and figure out, where you're guided. And a lot of times, and that's the one thing with the universe, our mind gets in our way, and we're like, well, we can't do that because that doesn't make sense. And the 3D world is telling me, I've got to do this to get where I want to go, but I feel like I'm supposed to blow everything up and go this way. Well, that's probably where you're supposed to go. And that's going to get you on the higher path. Because if you listen to everybody else, they don't know shit. I mean, they don't. They know from things from their limited perspective and their life, but you are your own soul who planned your life. So go that way. Even if it pisses people off. And not in a mean way. If you do it in a loving, kind way, like, I hear you. I respect that you're concerned for me. But I have to go this way. My parents don't understand how I've come out on top so many times on different things. And I was like, I just trust that I'll be I just know I'm supposed to do this, and I trust this is the way it's supposed to be, and this is where I'm told to go, and I'm just going to go with it, and it works out. I just assume it's, again, that's part of manifestation. I assume it's going to work out, and it does work out. I mean, if I took the leap with the universe and the whole time I'm like, dogging it, it might still work out, but there might be some more sludge, in my way, some mud that kind of makes it a little bit stickier and a little harder to easily flow because I keep messing it up. So we have to just trust that guidance, and when we allow things to just flow, it always works out. And usually when we truly want something, truly in our heart, and we want it so bad, and we just keep fighting and pushing, and when we finally let go and just say, ugh, that's when it flows in. We're our own worst enemy. So take your homework from the video is to really start looking at your pattern of how you receive your messages and start journaling as things come up. And you might be like, I'm not getting anything. That's fine. You will. Slowly just start talking. Ask for help. And start with little things like, I'd really like to, just again, ask your body. I'd really like, what do you want for dinner? I'd really like to know what's the best gas station? I don't know, whatever that you need in your life, and just start talking to your best friends and just see what you get. See what you hear, see what you feel, see what you know, and just see where you're guided to go. Because people talk about their gut, and we all kind of get a gut feeling. But oftentimes, a lot of us, especially if we're a little bit more intuitive, sometimes get other messages. So it's really trying to work to develop those so you can really start picking up and reading the energy around you to truly intuit more and more on a daily basis. But yeah, so I mean, one of my favorite stories from, my mom growing up, one of the things I really remember her saying to me was, always listen to your intuition. And I was 16 in high school, and I'd gone to one school from K through 8 and then switched for 2 years, and I was getting ready to head back. And I think before I headed back, I was in my sophomore year of high school, and I went to my other school that I was going back to a high school game or something, and went to the concession stand to get something with my friend, and my soul recognized something, I could just feel it, and I was like, that's weird, but I didn't really think anything about it, and nothing really stood, but there was kind of a, sort of I felt with my ex-husband, there was a soul recognition. And so I'm meeting with my friend, or I'm hanging out with my friend, a couple months later or whatever, and she's like, oh, there's this guy, he transferred, we were just talking about the school as I was coming back, and she's like, oh, there's this new guy, and she's like, he's so good looking, blah, 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 and she showed me his picture, and I was like, it's not a good picture, and I was like, well, but I knew I was going to date him. I just knew it. I knew we were going to be dating. I could feel it in my body. I knew it in my soul. I knew it. And I was like, okay. Didn't really, what am I supposed to do? I'm just at my friend's house. I just knew I'm supposed to date this random guy I'd never met. Okay. First day of school, I'm in the class already, and he walks. I look up at the universe. Did not know, because I was, raised Christian. And, I'm just like, are you sure I'm supposed to date him? Because he does not look like my type. And Sure enough, we did it for 2.5 years. He was my high school sweetheart. He was the sweetest guy. He was awesome. But I also knew when we were supposed to break up. Like, I just knew. And I was like, again, telling the universe, no, it's going to be fine. I'm not going to break up with him. I love him. you know, the universe is just up there like, sure. So I follow him to college, and I go down there knowing that I was not supposed to. And I knew I was supposed to be on another path. And of course I get down there and I break up and I'm miserable because I knew in my heart, like, they told me not to come here. I'm on the wrong path. This is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not good. And like, again, the universe will move you. And I could have stayed there, and I'm sure it would have been unpleasantly what it was and would have worked out, but I was like, I can't. And so last minute, I applied for the school. I knew that I was supposed to, didn't even know I was supposed to go there, but there was a little niggle in my brain when I was applying to my college, and I'd never even been to the school, never been to this town. And I just knew I was supposed to go, and I applied. It was like late November, December. And I get in, like, last minute transferring. And my parents were like, do you want to go check out this? What if you hate it? And I was like, well, I'm supposed to go, so I'm sure I'll be fine, but sure, we can go. So we get up there, and it's winter because, again, it's December. So it's dark by the time we get up there, and I knew. I got there, and I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I had the best time. I loved it. I don't know why I was sent. I mean, it was just great. I think my soul just loves the mountains, and it was happy there, and I loved it, and it was beautiful, and the people were so nice, and so it was great. So that just shows, not to go too long with my story, but that just shows the different times that I've just known where to go and what happens when I didn't listen versus what happened when I did. And, so really, my passion is trying to get people to listen to their intuition and quit listening to all this other kind of BS that's out there and what people tell them, because they don't have your best. I mean, they might think they do, but they don't know they don't know truly, and they don't know what your plan is from a higher perspective. So sit with a journal and yourself, figure out, and just take a look and think about how things come in for you, and start carrying on that conversation, even if you don't get any answers at first. Just really start talking to your guides and the universe and ask for them to guide you and for help, because they won't come in a lot of times too unless we truly ask for help. So if you really want help for something, say, please guide me, and ask to be like, look, I'm not sure that I'm getting these messages. Be loud. Be like, but in a nice way, be loud in a gentle way that is not going to shake up things too much. So thank you for watching. I'm going to have more on intuition because it's really important to me that people start listening themselves. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you have questions, please reach out. But good luck, and make sure you listen and see what you get. Okay, thank you. Have a good one.